thank you for coming. You know, like it couldn't be a more beautiful day, and I appreciate all of you for coming and seeing. You know, this is Admiral Jorge Quadros. He's the commander over at NAVFAC Atlantic across the way. Admiral Quadros and I have worked together before in a previous world at 22nd Naval Construction Regiment, where he was the operations officer and I was a young lieutenant working for him. And you know, he took me under his wing and trained me in a lot of good things, and a lot of taught me in many ways, large and small, you know, how it was to be a field grade naval officer, and then did me the privilege of promoting me to lieutenant commander. You know, that was back when my daughter, who's now standing, you know, 5 feet tall, was a babe in arms. So it was a wonderful privilege to invite him over, to have him promote me up to captain. And again, I thank you very much for coming.
So it is a privilege to be here today to promote Stephen Ramsey to the rank of captain. He's actually gotten paid, been paid for the last 4 days, but he chose this day, I think in part because he wanted his family to be here. So one of the things that I like to celebrate when we do promotions, when we do changes of command, when we really celebrate, you know, accomplishments of our sailors, is to thank the families, right? Because I think you all would agree, without those people that we love, that support us, we would be incomplete, right? And so I want to take a second to acknowledge the family. I know many of our are present. Some may be watching this later or live. So I'll start with Beth, who I've known, you know, for many years, and who, aside from being a phenomenal Navy spouse, you have given, you know, of yourself also to give to sailors. So for those of you that don't know, Beth is my professional social worker. And back in Gosport, we had this program called Focus, and she was an integral part of that. And Focus was, you know, kind of that, as a group of people, social workers, you know, great. I don't think were you even getting paid? Yeah. Okay, maybe not enough. But anyways, they did that because they truly valued and believed in our service, right? And so it was a group that dedicated themselves to help us sailors be better people. And so, Beth, thanks for not only your support of Stephen, but all you've done for me, for us, for our battalions, for our sailors throughout the years. Last night I ate the last jelly bean of that big jar that you guys gave me when I left command at NCB 11. But that's an inside joke, by the way. But it is true. She gave me a big jar of jelly beans to make my life happy. Okay, we mentioned Carlene, Stephen's and Beth's daughter, and Evan, who's hiding. Okay, not anymore. He's got a great handshake, very fast one. Okay, I also want to acknowledge Judy Ramsey. Nice to meet you earlier today. So Vic, you're the pastor, and you're the retired school. Well, both phenomenal professions, and we thank you for that, right? I think your sister Beth is here as well. Hi, Beth. And she's coming from Durham. And I met Diane. Hi, Diane, who is Beth's mother, Stephen's mother-in-law. And okay, so a little bit about Stephen. He mentioned I promoted him to lieutenant commander, right? I wasn't sure if he'd remember that, so I had that ready just in case. He might remember that one of the things I said during his promotion, Beth, you remember this, he's got an awesome smile. And when I say it, he brings it out, right? He's got one of those smiles that will make everybody's day better because of it. And our jobs are never easy, right? Our jobs only get more and more complex the more we promote. And today you're going to be a witness to that, right? So I'm, we're going to promote you. We're also going to give you far more responsibility than you've ever had. Now, thanks to people like this, you know, you will really be overhead, right? So that's one of the things that Admiral Meilenberg told me when I promoted to captain is like, welcome, because you're officially overhead. Because it's really people behind the scenes doing all the work that, you know, will make you and your future command successful. Stephen's here not by coincidence. He was carefully chosen to, you know, be here and come October 1st, lead this command. And whenever we start a command, it's a big deal. And so I can take pride in saying that I was involved in those decisions starting last year when I was selected to be a flag officer. And knowing Stephen, knowing his background, knowing, you know, how much he cares about you all, our sailors and our families, it was an easy decision to make. And you know, I could recite his bio. Maybe you read it, maybe you haven't. But he has done a tremendous amount of work to prepare him for this occasion, you know, this promotion today. He mentioned our work at Naval Construction Regiment. He was my future operations officer. He says I trained him. It's like the other way around. He would tell me all the right things, you know, to do and to say and to plan for. In the future operations world, you know, he was responsible for the sourcing of Seabees to go, you know, at that time, you know, think back in 2012 to 2015 timeframe, all around the world, right? Drawing down Afghanistan and, you know, going back to all our traditional sites. You know, he had that on his shoulders. And it really takes a cerebral guy, intelligent guy like him to lead that effort. I say intelligent because this guy's like super educated, right? He's got 2 bachelors, a bachelor's in civil engineering, a bachelor's in architecture. He's got a master's in civil engineering, and he's got another master's in military studies from the Marine Corps University. The academic stuff he got at NC State. I don't know how you pulled that. And I remember him saying, so this will talk to you about ambition, right? And goals. And I'm kind of talking to the group here because, you know, a lot of times we do these promotions and talk about the accomplishments of officers because it's important for you to understand, you know, I remember him saying is like, I really want to go to the Marine Corps University, you know, was really into military planning. And I kept telling him like, hey, if you go to grad school for civil engineering, chances are you're not going to get that, right? You're not going to get that Marine Corps University thing. Well, he persevered and somehow he got it. And they were like back to back. I mean, he was like 2 years of education, but, you know, clearly have prepared him to be the best senior officer that he has been and he can be now at the rank of captain. You know, he served in many other places, NMCB 74, Pax River. He was at NAVHAC headquarters. He was the EA for the chief, for the commander of Naval Facilities Engineering Systems Command. And he was also the future operations officer there, along, you know, with many other accomplishments. So I won't, you know, bore you down with all the details, but they're important. So if you're interested, read his bio, because it's a really remarkable career that we're celebrating here today with your promotion. Attention! Raise your hand and repeat after me. I solemnly reaffirm
I solemnly reaffirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution
whose course it directs.
whose course it directs,
That I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation.
without any mental reservation.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congrats.
Thank you. Right. Thank you.
All right, good job.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Captain Ramsey.
Woo!